What's up, everybody, and welcome to TransWorld SURF's Tour Talk. I'm your host, Chris Cote, and today we'll be discussing a contest that dates back to 1973. It's one of the most prestigious, controversial, and beloved events on the World Tour. And if that's not enough, this contest hands out the most legendary trophy ever. That's right, we're talking about the upcoming 2012 Rip Curl Pro at Bells Beach in Victoria, Australia. But before we dive in, let me introduce you to our esteemed panel of World Tour experts, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Yeah. Next to me, I made cards because we just met. Self-admitted worst contest surfer ever, but he was on really drive-through, and he will be in the 2012 TransWorld SURF film. A guy who I beat in a contest in 2012, Benji Weatherley. It's a true story.
Yeah, true.
Benji, have you ever made a heat?
I have. I actually beat him when I was 15 in Cabo because he got stung by a jellyfish.
I remember that.
You remember that? I had Slater. It was like the hardest heat of my life. It was Taylor Knox, Slater, him, and he got stung by a man-o-war, and I got 5th, and he got 6th. So
he's a pipe master, U.S. Open champ, World Tour surfer, hair farmer, father, soul surfer, yada. It's Rob Machado, ladies and gentlemen. Best Rob Machado. What was your best result ever at Bells?
If I got past 17, I felt like I won.
Yeah.
So I think I got a few nights.
Ninth.
Yeah.
Ninth place.
He just admitted that he's exactly the age of the Bells contest.
Yeah.
Right.
1973.
I was born in 73.
Nice.
So the contest is as old as me.
I knew we picked the right people.
Yeah.
Well, to the left of me right here, you've heard his silky smooth vocal tones for the past few years on various World Tour events. Tahiti, the Pipe Masters, basically just the big ones right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Turpel.
Turpel's good, yeah.
Joe Turpel.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Joe's actually headed to Bells tomorrow, some days soon.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah,
All right.
a couple days.
Let's start with Bells in general. What we know is that a right-hand point break, and it's a controversial wave simply because regular fitters seem to love it, goofy fitters seem to hate it. Rob, just give us a brief rundown of the wave itself. Bells Beach, Victoria, Australia.
It's strange because it has two kind of elements to it. You're either surfing the bowl, if it's got to be like over 3 or 4 feet, and then it kind of moves out into what everyone knows is like the true Bells wave. And if it's small, like I kind of prefer it when it was small, when it was like under head high.
The forecast for this year is looking really good. A little bit offshore winds and
You see carbs because it's usually all about airs now.
We're gonna get to that.
So nice.
We're gonna get to that.
So nice to see that.
We're going to just jump right in right here. We're going to talk about some contenders, rookies, wild cards. Let's just start right off the bat. Last year's champ, Joel Parkinson. Did you watch Snapper? Did you see him surf? Did you like what you see?
I always like what I see in Joel Parkinson, and I think Bells is like tailor-made for him and his surfing. Like just silky, smooth, long, arcing carves, holds his speed so well, and like just, I don't know.
He doesn't over surf when it's a big wall. He doesn't try to overdo it. He just lets it come to him. And
yeah, he really
so good
extends through his turns and just does these huge wraps. Throws a lot of water. It's just good to the eyeballs.
You look at Joel, kind of focusing on him, on what he does on that wave. You look back 5-6 years. He's always you can guarantee he's going to be at least in the quarterfinals. I think it's probably his most consistent event on tour.
He's always in the mix.
Yeah,
he's
always.
Semi-sort of
You can just pencil Joel into the final.
For sure. Well, we talked about it. You mentioned earlier, airs and bells, not really a combo that you see often.
Unless you're Kelly in the final and
right.
you get 1-footers that you don't even know what you're doing.
The
win.
Power seems to be the key. Power flow. But this year is kind of the year of the rookie. Everyone's looking at these guys. With that being said, Chloe and Dino, what do you think Chloe's game is going to be like out there at Bells?
I think he's one of those guys that can do airs on anything, so it's going to be so exciting to see him and John in that atmosphere because they're not looking at it like Barco looks at it. They're looking at it like, I got all this time to figure out how to do an air on this wave. Right. So I think Chloe's still going to be throwing tail slide, lip, whatever you want to call nose picks, and every other little trick he's got in the book. And it'd be exciting to see the scores because not many people are doing those picks and those kind of moves at Bells over the years.
The other element too that kind of comes into play is experience at Bells. And when you move out to the bowl, if the forecast is right and it's going to be 6 to 8 feet, it's tricky.
That's a good point.
When one guy catches a wave and you're sitting out there by yourself,
where do I go?
Yeah,
against someone like Mick, that's huge advantage.
It's really hard to pick the right waves out there. They're marching in. They look. Every wave looks good.
They always say there's a few spots to sit, Rob. But it seems like there could be 20 spots.
Yeah. It's I could never really find a distinct spot. Another key factor will be equipment.
Right.
You know, if those guys got a good board under their feet, it really shows out there.
We're not riding neckbeards and things out there.
I mean, there's potential for actually riding a bigger board out there. You know, there's so much, it's a deep water wave. There's a lot of water moving, and these guys are drawing long turns. It's not really tight surfing in pockets and stuff. So we've been talking about wave selection, so key. Like, I think you want to find like those medium ones that maybe hit a little deeper, and especially for backside guys, especially because, like you said, you'll get one turn in and then you'll come down and you're either like way out in the shoulder,
You're like, where the hell
or
am
you're
I?
like behind a section, you know, and you're late. You're trying to get up on the lip, and that never looks good. And so it's finding those waves that you can really get your timing synced in.
No doubt.
And backside is hard because you come down from one turn, it's windy. Like, I got hair in my face. Aki's like, you can put a blindfold on Aki, you know.
We're gonna come back and talk about Aki. We're gonna take a little break. Bells is a wave made for men, and there is one man that technically right now is not in it, but we're gonna talk about the movement to put this man into Bells. We'll be right back.